Hello, everybody. Welcome in, welcome back. 17 and some change on this Wednesday, the hump day. I'm AccuDes17. I'm here to bring you my 2 cents. So today is a I can't use the word scorcher. Um, but before we get into that, you guys may or may not have noticed something different. Um, uh, my beard, no more. I cut it, and I had thought of a really good joke. Um, for when people ask me like if I cut my beard or like when people say I cut my beard or whatever. But I forgot what it was. So if I had remembered it, I could have used it like 6 times today. But it's fine. It's fine. Um, yeah, I mean, not that it matters to y'all, but I just did this to just to get a clean slate because it was hard to get like perfectly aligned and whatnot. So I was like, all right, maybe if I can start from zero, I can do it. And people have said I look younger. A lot of people were like scratching their head trying to figure out like how I look different. I'm like, really? Like you guys are really like trying to figure out how I look different? Because some people like it's night and day. You know what I mean? I thought with me it's almost like a whole different person, but I guess not, which is kind of comforting to know that um and when you have because facial hair and stuff is really ties in largely with your identity for a lot of people. So you know when you make drastic modifications to your body, whether that's like piercings or like you tattoo your face or just like whatever's clever, shave your head, um, cut off your, shave your eyebrows. Like if you make or just like change your style like completely, and if you do all that and people treat you exactly this, people treat you the same, I guess that's a good feeling. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us, we tie our identity into our presentation and our style and stuff like that. um you know but it's freaking hot out here. It's hot as a mother of pearl. um and it was just like that. It was just like that. We've been waiting for weeks. I've been waiting for weeks to get something in the 70s so I could ride my bike. And then we get 70s and then we get 90 like right away. And now it's going to go back to 60 for a few days. But we joke about it in on the East Coast. We joke about like, oh, New England weather and stuff like that. But I don't know if it's as finicky for everybody. I think weather is just a finicky thing. You know what I mean? Um, it's gonna be tough on a lot of people going from 90 to 60, right? You kind of want to slow roll into it or whatever. Um, but it's so much different, like between like the cold days and the really warm days or the hot days. Like summer and winter are polar opposites for a reason, and it's really cool. Um, Speaking of, now is a good time to go to Alaska. Um, I was talking about that today because summertime in Alaska is about 60 to 80 degrees, um, which, as the old people used to say, is tit. It's tit weather. Um, but no, it's yeah, that's kind of silly. I don't know where that comes from. Um, but I knew like old people used to say that. But no, it's perfect weather. It's perfect weather, and you're in Alaska, and it's daytime for like 18 hours, and yeah, how cool is that? 18 hours of like 65, 75-degree temps. Like, I'm sure there's a nice breeze and stuff like that. Um, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's I'm glad I have motorcycle time. Um, has anybody seen uh has anybody seen this new sport? I guess I guess Dana White backs it a lot somehow. I mean, it kind of gets views. I guess that's what it is. Like, it gets views, and um, I'm not gonna lie, the spectacle of it has made me pause and watch a few times. And I'm talking about the slap fighting league. Um, it's not slap fighting. It's because no, you don't defend yourself, but it's like the slap contest. Um, where like one person, like, you just stand and you just let the other person slap you as hard as they can, and then you slap them as hard as you can, and very, 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 very good for concussions. A lot of times, most times, you're not getting like soft palm on cheek. A lot of times, you're getting fucking hard palm on fucking temple. Um, and no good, no good, no good. It's like if there was, it's like a sport, like who can. I mean, it's not exactly like who can bang their head on the wall the hardest, but it's close. This is gonna be. This is a sport you can't compete in for. Having longevity is gonna be tough. Like, people are gonna come out years later, like, just fucking drooling on themselves, like, still getting all like hyped up about themselves. They're like, but they're fucking like half. It's wild, man. It's a wild sport. It's a wild sport. Like, and it's crazy. You see that shit with MMA fighters a lot too. Um, like the slurred speech and the forgetting, different things like that. Um, no, it's rough. It's definitely a rough thing. CTE is, and this sport is gonna serve it on a golden platter. You know, if you're ever looking for some CTE, go no further. That place has you covered, right? Just do a slap fight. Um, but hey, to each their own. You know what I mean? I looked around the other day, and I noticed like while the Bible has like 2,000 plus names, it's still interesting to see a lot of them still in circulation 2,000 plus years later. You know, all the Jacobs and all the Joes and all the Adams and all the Sarahs and Marys and et ceteras and et ceteras and yeah, it's been a while to still see that. And then also like somebody brought up a point to me one time when they were talking about historic oppression for African Americans. And you know, I'm not really huge into like the whole white guilt uh angle of uh recognizing historic oppression, but it's not something I realized, and it's very eye opening. You know what I mean? Like my homie, he pointed it out to me one time. He was like, "Yeah, like you don't notice like how many black people still have their slave names." And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like, wait, their slave names or whatever?" And like he's like, "Yeah, their last name, um, like Johnson or like White or Brown. It's like." These are like the plantation names. And I was like, damn, like, fuck. Like, I can imagine, like, yeah, I'd be pretty upset. I'd be pretty upset if my last name uh, could only be traced back to a fucking slave owner from 200 years ago that was a different uh, color and creed than me. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I could see how that would be upsetting, deeply unsettling, and how that could cause identity crises, and anger and resentment and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, just imagine like walking around with a last name that only goes back 200 years to a fucking slave owner of your great grandpa. Like, it's like, what's my original last name? Like, yeah, we don't know because the country that you reside in now, is one that you were kind of brought to. Uh, your ancestors were brought to, and it's like, that's a serious gripe. And people say, some people like the haters and stuff, like they say, oh, go back. Like if you don't like it, like America's great and stuff like that. And it's like, no, it's definitely now like it's definitely like the place to be for sure. Um, but um, that doesn't erase anything. But you know, um, you know, it's just you want it to be like now it's everybody's home, But like stuff like that is like really a reminder, you know. Um, it's a reminder of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I still think it's time. Like, we all need to like get along. And I don't like the battle of the sexes. I don't like the battle of the races. Um, I don't like any of that stuff. You know what I mean? But a lot of that stuff is problematic, but even if somebody holds like these core beliefs um, of sexism or racism or Marxism, like it's not them, it's not simply their beliefs that would cause a strain on society. Um, what causes a strain on society is the narcissistic, loudest, uh, most confrontational people from any group, right? Um, it's that inability to reason. It's that inability to stop and pause and take a moment and put yourself in different shoes or and uh, 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 you know play out uh, the consequences, that the repercussions in the future and stuff like that. um, that makes the wildest people do the wildest things. So my point is, like, our country doesn't not get along because of the battle of the sexes. Our society doesn't fail to get along because of racism. Our society doesn't fail to get along because of a lot of things. Primarily, our society fails to get along due to uh, antisocial behaviors, attitudes, and personalities. Um, and that's the bottom line, right? The epidemic of antisocialness in this day of age, that's I think that's the real divide that we're seeing. To the extent that we're seeing a divide, I mean, I still walk around and 9 times out of 10, I'm good. You know what I mean? Which reminds me, I was walking down the street the other day, and most of the time people don't mess with me. Like, as an adult, in our adult lives, most of the time people don't mess with me. You know what I mean? I guess I must have been uh, walking some kind of line. But this is my point. Some people are just pricks. Some people are just uh, not even pricks, like locos, like just tap, like they're they got this demon in them. They got this. It's the ego, right? They got this. Look, everybody needs an ego to an extent. Otherwise, you shrivel up, you die, you don't accomplish anything, you become the ultimate self-sacrificial lamb to everybody. Everybody needs some sort of ego so they have some sort of confidence in a material world. But the people that I was referring to earlier, the antisocial type, it's ego that is unchecked and just like uh, just I want to say despicable. I want to say insane. Like it's just um. So this kid, for example, I say kid. He was like a older teenager. I don't know, maybe somewhere between 16 and 20. I mean, he could have been 19. He could have been 17. Um, but he was tall, muscular, lanky, built. and he was catching football passes from his friend in the street, and he looked like a receiver. He looked like he could be like uh, a high school or a lower level college receiver. Um, and so I'm walking on my sidewalk, the sidewalk. He's playing in his street, in the street, and so I'm walking on the sidewalk. He's playing in the street, and I see he looks at me, and he sees me. I'm walking, and he starts drifting backwards into my path, and he times it. And I see him looking and drifting and looking, and and he's timing it so that like he's right in my way. Like as I'm walking by, he's right in my way, and it seemed very intentional. And yeah, I don't say anything. You know, I look at him. My look says, I see you. Why? Don't be a clown. Um, and I keep it moving, and he starts like making noises at me as I walk by. I go to the store, I grab my stuff, I head back. Um, this time I walk right by the same way. You know, I made a promise to myself that I will never cross the street in the United States of America out of fear. Um, I wasn't scared. Like I can fight. I can fight. I don't want to fight. I didn't want to fight, but fear definitely wasn't an issue. Was there a little bit of adrenaline? Was there a little bit of like this is an annoyance, this isn't something that I want right now? Yeah. Um I didn't want to have to go to that place. You know what I mean? The place that you go to when you get into a fight. I really didn't want to go there that day. Um but you know, I like I said, I have a principle about, you know, uh bullies or in America. Like, no, this isn't middle school. This isn't high school. Um, this is the adult world uh, in the United States of America, and uh, I'm not gonna let anybody impede my right to happiness and freedom of association and stuff like that. Like if I have a legal right in this country, I'm taking it. And either way, I walk by him. He doesn't do anything as I walk by, and then he turns and they start like yelping at me, like yeet, yeet, beep, beep, just like making noises and shit like that. And I was just like, what is wrong with you guy? Like your ego told you to engage in that territorial behavior to like a 40-year-old walking down the sidewalk. And then when they're not intimidated or they don't engage you, like you just start tweaking out and like making sounds and noises at them. Like it's so weird, bro. Like how many IQ points do you have? Like what the fuck? But it's all good. It's all good. If I run into that particular individual again 100 times, I'm fine by that. Um well, not really. It's just clown. It's just clown stuff. It's just clown stuff. But GPT 5.5 came out not too long ago, and it's really cool. It's done a lot. It's doing a lot better with like remembering context and just like thinking more logically and like knowing what you mean more and stuff like that. It is improving. Not too long ago I said AI has hit like a glass ceiling, and it felt like it did, but I feel like this GPT 5.5 is actually an improvement. So if there was a glass ceiling, this GPT 5.5 has definitely cracked it a little bit. Wouldn't say shattered it or gone through it or anything like that, but definitely cracked it a little bit or pushed up against it type of thing. You know what I mean? Um, which is what it is. I don't know with this AI. With this AI, man, like I like talking about AI. I really do, but it's one of these subjects that kind of makes me feel like a fish because I flip flop often on it. You know, it's hard for me to picture a middle ground with AI. Maybe a middle ground does exist, but with me, it's either like apocalyptic. It's either AGI, uh, embodied in robots, uh, essentially AGI, essentially becoming a de facto race, species of its own, um, or uh, AI stops increasing its capabilities wherever it is, and it just becomes like another ordinary tool. Um, it is such a hard thing to predict, um, and it's one of those topics I find, like I said, I think I said before, I find it fascinating in regards to philosophy because it's new to philosophy. Like philosophers have had century to ponder on the existential questions in life. Where did we come from? Where are we going? What is morality and ethics? Why do people do what they do? Um, I know psychology claims to be the holder of that mantle right now, but philosophy will is a powerful player in explaining human nature as well. And but they haven't had time to philosophize about the implications of a man-made intelligence that supersedes man, potentially, or just a man-made intelligence at all. Like, um, but especially one that supersedes an AGI. Like, you know, um, But yeah, um, we're gonna do a quick would you rather here, for the rest of this. Um, I got some on deck, and these are all randoms. Um, so would you rather, and if you want to answer along, I do enjoy that. I like if you put in the comments, like, when I do would you rather's, I like if you put your thoughts as well. Um, but would you rather have unlimited free gas or unlimited free groceries? To me, that's a no-brainer. I'll take the groceries. Um, I'm not. Uh, yeah, I'll take the groceries. Let's say I spend more on groceries than gas, as it is. Half the year I ride a motorcycle, so which does nothing on gas. Would you rather be able to pause time for 10 seconds once a day or rewind by 10 seconds? That's stupid. Would you rather always have perfect sleep or always have perfect digestion? I would say perfect digestion because I feel like while sleep is complicated to get right or like to get it like the formula, I feel like digestion is even more complicated. Um, it's like a fucking there's like a whole science to it, like a whole chemistry to it. And like I said, so is sleep, but I would choose perfect digestion. Would you rather be famous for something impressive or rich but completely unknown? I've said before, like, give me the money and keep the fame. You know what I mean? Um, I wouldn't say the only reason I do these podcasts is because it is an outlet. I enjoy getting my ideas out and my thoughts out, and it's definitely an outlet. Um, I definitely do it because I feel like I have um uh, 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 a moral compass or a lifestyle or ideas or that are worth listening to. I feel like I can set a decent example to people. I feel like, if there's one person who like watches my shows and thinks to themselves like, "Oh, that guy's pretty cool. Like I could be like him." Like um then it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like um, I'm not gonna steer people really into like bad or dangerous situations or thought patterns and stuff like that. Um, no, I feel like I'm a useful person to listen to for some people. I feel like there are some young adults out there that could really learn a thing or two or see me as an example. And so I do it for all those reasons. But another reason I do it is because I don't have a mouthpiece. And I'm not good with like uh, marketing and advertising and stuff like that. I don't have like a passion for it, Like I feel like I don't know. I feel like like if I'm marketing my products, I I'm okay with like the aesthetics. Like I can present like a poster with some music and like put like a shiny ad or something like that. But I'm not really good. Like I feel like I'm bragging about my stuff or like um I don't know. I just don't enjoy like pushing my products. Even though I feel like my products are worth it, particularly the books. The shoes are a pretty penny. Um, I'd say they're worth it to me. Like I buy them, but they're mine. You know what I mean? I think they're stylish. Um, and the fact that they're handmade in Italy with genuine vegan leather and suede, like I think that's pretty cool. So I think that kind of makes it worth it. But I would understand people not buying the shoes. But the books, I think people would definitely get their money's worth out of the books. Um, do I think my books have $19.99 worth of information in them? No, I don't. But I definitely think my books have like $9.99 worth of information in it. Or I think right now I have them like close to like $7 or something like that. Um, I think that's definitely worth it. Um, but yeah, I don't have a mouthpiece, so I'm like, hey, here's a lot of stones I could kill in one throw. Let me jump on here you know, um, and speak on my brand's behalf, speak on my behalf, which will also simultaneously speak on my brand's behalf. You know what I mean? Um, it was just the easiest way for me to do that. And I say all of that because the question was if I would want the fame or the money. I had I had decided a couple, like, there was, I wanted before to separate, like, I was going to separate my name, my likeness, my face. Like, I was going to separate all that stuff from my brand. I was just going to have, like from behind the fucking behind the curtain, I was going to be running the brand. Like the brand was going to be the brand, and it wasn't going to be, people weren't going to know my face or my name, right? Um, but I just, like I said, I didn't have any mouthpieces. Um, I couldn't. I don't like dealing with salespeople. I couldn't afford marketing campaigns like that. I don't enjoy marketing my products, and so um, I'm here to do that. So my point is, I don't like fame. I don't want fame. You know what I mean? I'm pretty damn cool being anonymous. Pretty damn cool being anonymous. Maybe not amongst my peers 24/7. Like I don't want to be invisible completely, but no, like I like my uh my personal space and stuff like that. Like I don't want to be famous, but I do want to be rich. I really want to be rich. I really really want to be rich. And I know some of you guys are thinking like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. But I'd be such a different kind of rich. Not saying I would be one of one or like the most unique rich person, but no, I would be like autistic rich. Like I'm still, like I'm giving back. Like I'm giving back to the community. All of, like, so many of my vanity projects are gonna be like things that actually bring happiness and not dollar line, not bottom line. Like, for example, just a quick example that jumped in my head. Like if I was running EA Sports, for example, like I was the founder, CEO, fucking president, fucking god of EA Sports or whatever, right? I would never. I'm making the company is profiting millions annually, um, right? So let me get this right for you, right? Um, what was EA Sports profiting annually on average prior to its licensing agreement? No, microtransactions. EA Sports averaged an annual net income of approximately 300 to $500 million a year, right? Uh, okay, 3 to 500 million. And what does EA average annually now in profit? Right? 7.5 billion. 7.5 billion fucking dollars. And that's because, as most gamers know, they gutted the freaking games and they doubled and tripled and quadrupled down on microtransactions. And I use EA Sports as an example, but a lot of gaming companies have done this, and it's ruined gaming for a lot of people. Um, my point is, I would not have done that. I would not have made it so that it's studies have shown it's like gambling on like my team and stuff like that. The way that they structure some of these pay to play games, um, it's you're making somebody continuously pay for a product that they already bought. It's what do you call it? What do you call it when it's like sharks? Like not deceptive, not inhumane, but it's a negative practice, right? And it's not something that you would see me, somebody like me, do. It's not something that somebody like me would do. And no, a lot of things, anything's, everything's like I'm always thinking about like the general public and the greater good and stuff like that. Um, I feel like I am the right type of person, um, that that you would want to have that type of responsibility. Um, um, would you rather live near the ocean or near the mountains? Um, what are you gonna do near the mountain? Like climb it? It's just gonna like block your vision. Um, drive up them and fall off the side of them. Like mountains are nice to like look at, but for a little while, but they're kind of a pain in the ass logistically. It's like, oh, how do you get to Tim's house? Oh, he's behind the mountain. So, a couple hours you'll get there. Fuck. Uh, the ocean is just bad because it can get like cold sometimes and stuff like that, but and it can be stinky too sometimes. Um, would you rather never have to clean your home again or never have to do laundry again? Oh, never have to clean my home again. Oh my goodness, effing gracious. Like if my freaking living environment could just be clean like all the time, like that would be so cool. That would be so cool. But you know, because I mean you only do laundry like once, twice, like once a week, twice a week, once every 2 weeks, twice every 2 weeks. But cleaning, I find myself I'm cleaning all the flipping time and stuff like that. Now, given I don't know if I would want to completely eliminate the ability to clean or totally have because it is, it is kind of grounding. It is kind of therapeutic to throw on some tunes and declutter, you know. But I spent so much time. I wish I could like spend just half the time. Um, Would you rather have a personal chef or a personal driver? Screw a personal driver. Screw both of them. I wouldn't want either of that. Like if I had to, I'd choose a chef. But like, yeah, no, a chef could actually be kind of cool. It's like I like to cook. I like to cook. Does it get to be like kind of like sometimes you don't feel like it? Not really. Like I don't mind. Like the dishes become a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? The ingredients, but like you give me a nice kitchen, fresh ingredients, clean dishes. Cooking is fun. Um, would you rather be extremely talented on one thing or pretty good at almost everything? Pretty good at almost everything because there are so many things. If I was pretty good at almost everything, man, if anybody was pretty good at almost everything, if you were pretty good at almost everything, you'd be an unstoppable force. Like almost anything you did, you'd be really good at. And then we'll do two more. It says, would you rather always know when someone is lying or always know what someone is feeling? I feel like I'm pretty good at both of those things. Um, I'm not a psychic or anything, and I do psych myself out sometimes. But I think if you know when somebody's lying, that might kind of hurt. Um, Whereas if you know what someone's feeling, that's like pretty advantageous for both of y'all. And then last but not least, it says, would you rather take one amazing vacation every year or have every weekend off with no responsibilities? I mean, the fudge. Like, you gotta keep your weekends. Like, if I take the one amazing vacation, does that now mean I'm working 7 days a week? Like, because I'll keep my weekends if that's the case. Oh, all right, all right. I'll do one more. I'll do one more. Would you rather have a rewind button for conversations or a mute button for annoying people? That is so flipping cool. Um, Man, the amount of times I've wished I could go back and say something differently or something like that, but it don't matter. Like, if you believe in fate or like you believe in anything like that, then you feel like whatever ended up happening was gonna happen. Like um and we've had conversations about fate, like its inevitability, or like how much free will plays into it and all that stuff. And who knows. But I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what, like that mute button would come in handy. That mute button seemingly would come in handy, though I would probably feel bad if the person is like, you mute the person and then you see them like they're trying to talk but like nothing's happening and they start like panicking and stuff. Like, you would want to treat that as like a medical emergency, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you just can't talk anymore. And they would probably act as if it wasn't a medical emergency, and it would create like this whole thing. Um, or if like they thought they were still talking, just like you couldn't hear them. Um, but man, some people have really big mouths, you know. Some people have really big mouths, but Um, on that note, I'm not going to be one of those people, not today, unless I already have been with my 51 minutes of talking. Um, but I'm going to thank you guys. I'm going to thank you guys for showing up and showing out. And I'm going to implore you to come back around next week so we can have some more fun. All right. All right. Goodbye. I mean, ooh, I didn't leave on the goodbye. I mean, I mean to say, take care and be good and be happy and all that stuff. And then, goodbye.